I wasn't going to admit at the beginning where I found it, but it's a website called Dumb Little Man. Okay, two of those three words fit me pretty well, and I'll let you figure out which one doesn't fit me well. But it's written by this gentleman. It's 39 ways to live and not merely exist. It's on a website that I found. I want you to understand right up front, these are his ideas, not necessarily mine. I agree with most of them, but not all of them. I think some of them are very practical and very useful. I think some of them are not. And I'll let you be the judge of which ones aren't and which ones are, because it needs to fit you, what meets your need or whatever, so in life. So it's kind of a fun little thing. We're going to kind of slide through it. I want to mention a story, and a couple of you asked what the word monotony means. When I was a lot littler, my mother reminds me of this story quite frequently. Before I started school, I would go to my grandmother's, my granny's house. She would watch me during the day. Actually, my grandpa would, and he was, I won't get into that, but he really did a good job watching me. But I told her one day, I said, life is so boring, Mom. I get up, I eat breakfast, I go to Granny's, I help Grandpa, I come home, I eat supper, I take a bath. I don't remember all the things I did during the day. I go to bed. Next day, I go through the same routine. As a 4-year-old, I was already bored with life, I guess. I don't know. But has anybody ever had experiences like that where you feel like you do the same thing day in and day out and life just is trudging along? Well, that's kind of what this is. Hopefully will inspire you to do some new things. I'm 47 now. Things haven't changed a lot. I get up, I eat breakfast, I go to work. You know, now it's work instead of Granny's house. But you know the thing. And you're a college student. Maybe life is a little more exciting at this point, but you get into ruts, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So this is just kind of a little fun way to look at some different things to get out of ruts. So we'll just start with this. The proper function of man is to live, not just exist. I like that quote, so we'll start off with that. Too often we go through life on autopilot, going through the motions and having each day pass like the one before. Again, yes. That's fine, comfortable, until you have gone through another year without having done anything, without having really lived life. How many of you said, wow, that last year, where'd it go? And I can tell you right now, as the older you get, the years go faster, and they seem to be gone before you know it. That's fine until you've reached an old age and look back on life with regrets. I'm not old age yet, at 47. That's fine until you see your kids off to college and realize that you missed their childhoods. You know, I started a little bit later in life with having children. Didn't have my first one until I was 31 years old. So my oldest is 16. I've got 16, 14, 12, and 10-year-old now. And it just seems like yesterday I had my first one. And yeah, their lives are going on. They're not in college yet, but their lives are moving fast. It's not fine if you want to truly live life, to really experience it, to enjoy it to its fullest, instead of barely scraping by and only living a life of existence. Then you need to find ways to break free from the mold and drink from life. What follows is just a list of ideas, obvious ones mostly, that you could have thought of yourself, but are useful reminders. We all need reminders sometimes. If you find this useful, start using it today. So again, we're going to look at 39 different ways to experience life. The first one I love, to be honest with you, because it's love. Perhaps it's the most important. Fall in love. If you aren't already, if you have, fall in love with your partner all over again. Abandon caution and let your heart be broken. Or love family members, friends, anyone. It doesn't have to be romantic love. Love all of humanity, one person at a time. And I wrote down a little thing here. Has anybody heard about the killing in the embassy in Libya because of the Muslim movie that came out, and they're going crazy? You know, that's the difference in our society, I think, than theirs, maybe, is that we love life a little more, and we cherish life a little more. So I think that's what this is kind of talking about, is love your fellow man. It doesn't necessarily, again, have to be romantic love. If it is that, that's great. But I have a little heart there. So just love other people. That's why it's good that we get to know each other. Get outside. How many of you have a problem with this sometimes? Get stuck inside, I do. Don't let yourself be shut indoors. Go out when it's raining. Walk on the beach. Hike through the woods. Swim in a freezing lake. Again, I don't think all these ideas are great. Remember that. Swim in a freezing lake. Bask in the sun, play sports, or walk barefoot through the grass. I know I don't think that one's good because I don't like walking barefoot. And pay a close attention to nature. Right? So I found a little clip art. I tried to find a picture that would kind of match each one of these. I hope I did a good job with that. So this next one, savor food. How many of you like eating? Put your hands on eating. You're eating pizza, so I can say that. You like it? Sorry. Are you savoring that food right now? Good. Don't just eat your food, but really enjoy it. How many of you just eat to eat? I know I used to eat just to exist, just to get by. I didn't care to sit down and eat. Feel the textures, the bursts of flavors, savor every bite. If you limit your intake of sweets, it will make the small treats you give yourself. Strawberries. I did change this. This is me. Strawberries or chocolate are my favorites. That's the only thing I changed in this whole thing. He had something I didn't like, so I changed that.
What did he have out of curiosity?
He had berries, but I don't remember. No, he had chocolate, but I don't remember what the other thing was. He had chocolate. I changed it to strawberries. Chocolate-covered strawberries, nothing better. And when you do have them, really, really savor them slowly. Take your time eating. So, how many of you would like to eat that hot dog with all that mustard on it? This is the best one I can find, I think. Create a morning ritual. Now, I found this kind of funny because we're talking about how to break the monotony of life, the same old, and one of his pieces of advice is create a morning ritual. And what's a morning ritual? Doing the same thing. So he kind of contradicts himself a little bit with this, but he gives some good ideas. Wake early and greet the day. Watch the sunrise. Out loud, tell yourself that you will not waste this day, which is a gift, and I truly believe that. You will be compassionate to your fellow human beings, and you'll live life every moment to its fullest. Stretch or meditate or exercise as a part of your ritual. And I'm not into this. Enjoy your coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, so.
Come on, Mr. Jackson. Let me see. That works.
Some of you are, that's fine. So.
That works.
Okay.
No.
Isn't that a good one? You just need a big thing that says, get up. Get up. Or allow to get up. So. Take chances. This is probably my favorite one. We often live our lives too cautiously, worried about what we might go wrong. Be bold, risk it all. Quit your job. I wouldn't advise that. Go to business for yourself. Plan it out first, he said. My brother and I are totally different. He loves running his own business, and he wants to be his own boss and do all that. I'm scared to death of running my own business. So that would be the difference in us. This one I did like her. Go up to that girl you've liked for a long time and ask her out. Oh, what's she going to do? Say no? She might say yes. What do you have to lose? About 17 years ago, I did this twice. Jumped out of a plane. Exhilarating. For months, I was on a high of just the thrill of that. And I've got my 12-year-old, wants to go one of these days. So he's 18, and I'll be 53, I guess. We're going to go. So we're looking forward to that. How many of you would take that chance? Jump out of the plane. All right, when I get ready to go, I'm calling all of you. It is fun. I mean, what are some other things, taking chances that you have thought about or have done? Anybody? I mean, this is extreme ground.
We went to this place in Colorado, and it has a really big canyon, and it like bungeed us off over the canyon.
Oh, cool. Now, bungee jumping, I'm scared to death of. I don't know what's the, I think it's the up and down thing.
Yeah, somebody had to, there's three of us, and someone had to pull it to let us go, but I definitely didn't want to do that, so I probably would have pulled us.
Yeah. Zip lines, I'd love to do a zip line. I went out here that day, they had the zip line in the oval, and I said, I'd like to do that, and they said, how much do you weigh? And I said, I won't tell you what I said. They said the weight limit was 200 pounds. Like, that's not fair. It's discrimination.
I take one chance last week. No, I started like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I started 2 weeks ago because I was sick first. The email they sent to go minus, and I didn't have the money. So last week, not the other week, and there was some outside in the over, and she told me, go around and see if you find money. So I take the chance to go all the people, all the staff member and faculty that I know on campus to get money to support my trip to go with the school to Minot, North Dakota. Even when it was a 20-hour trip, and I have arthritis in my back and my knee. I know it's gonna be hard, but I get the money. I went to Minot. It was fun, and meet new people, be with the people from Saddle Hall, New York 9/11, see the kids doing their own stuff. And we were talking, like right here was the tornado, and then 1 month later they get the flooding in there, but it's nothing, because that people doesn't have insurance for flooding, because they're not supposed to have flooding, and so they still have it with their houses, and it was a really nice chance.
So the benefit of your taking a chance was meeting new people and getting out there and getting involved. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have something real quick about taking a chance or something you'd love to do? Like I'm not the type of person who do things by myself. Like go to a movie, go out to eat. My wife can do those things. I can't. So it took me a long time to find somebody to go skydiving with, and I finally found a guy as nutty as I was. So we went with it. So. It's a lot of fun.
I want to go bungee jumping.
Yeah, I don't know about bungee jumping. That going back up and forth, that kind of gets me, so, and hanging there. So, follow excitement. Try to find the things in life that excite you, and then go after them. Make life one exciting adventure after another, with perhaps some quiet times in between. Little adventurer person there. Find your passion. I call this your gift too. I think everybody has a gift that they're given, and find your passion that usually goes along with your gift. Similar to the above tip, this one asks you to find your calling. Make your life by doing this. Make your living by doing this thing you love to do. First, think about what you really love to do. There may be many things. Find out how you can make a living doing it. It may be difficult, but you only live once. So I knew again since I was about 20 years I wanted to be a teacher. And that's what I pursued, because that was what I felt like my passion was. And I've joked I made the mistake and became a principal. And that wasn't my passion. When your career is that way, so. Get out of your cubicle. How many of you ever worked in a cubicle?
Yes.
I would go crazy.
That is death.
It's dead. So get out of it. You got out of it. All right. All right. Do you sit all day in front of a computer shuffling papers and taking phone calls and chatting on the internet? Don't waste your days like this. Break free from the cubicle environment and do your work on a laptop, in a coffee shop, or on a boat, or in a log cabin. This may require a change of job or becoming a freelancer, but it's worth it. Again, I'm a little petrified of that uncertainty about things, so freelancing would not be something for me, maybe. So, now this lady in the cubicle, doesn't that look pretty boring? This is the one, I will be honest with you, I like the most. I just can't do it. When I met my wife, she did not have a TV. She has begged me for the past 17 years to get rid of the TV. Because it does suck a lot of time and consume a lot of time. So that's what this says. How many hours will we waste away in front of the boob tube? How many hours do we have to live? Do the math and unplug the TV. I don't remember what the statistics were, but the average youngster, when I was in the secondary education, I found out average 3 hours of TV a day or something. And that might even be low if I'm remembering correctly. That's a lot of time.
It hasn't changed. The statistic actually is now that students, by the time they graduate, will have spent more time watching TV than they have in school.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
It's an average of about.
And what are they watching is the other question.
Yeah. It's about 18,000 hours, 20,000 hours.
So what could you do at that time if you didn't have that TV on? And I'm preaching to the choir here because I'm not the one that can turn it off. I've got to watch my ESPN in the morning for a few minutes. I've got to watch my Cardinals play every now and then. I've got to watch a little football on Sunday afternoons. My wife, she loves watching Fox News. That's the time I want to turn the TV off. But she wants to turn it off when I'm watching sport, and we only have one, so we have fights over the remote control. I'm enjoying this having the remote by myself. So Only plugging it back in when you have a DVD or a movie you love. Otherwise, keep it off and find other stuff to do. Don't know what to do? Read further. So how many of you don't have TVs? Anybody? Super. You find yourself with more time?
Yeah, but I plan to get one.
Plan to get one. Don't do it.
We have TVs, but we don't have cable, so they'll just sit there.
So if you've taken the advice, you get maybe a DVD or an old VHS player that
We watch
you watch
Top Gear.
movies.
George, my TV player.
So throw that remote control away and that TV away. So pull away from the internet. How many of you are consumed by the internet?
Twitter.
Twitter is
Facebook.
mobile.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what I'm doing.
Wow.
It's adventurous.
6 months ago, about 6 months ago, we allowed our oldest child to get a Facebook account, and she might be losing that privilege before long because she seems to want to be on there, and she loves YouTube videos. So if she doesn't do her homework, that's going to be taken away. So you're reading something on the internet right now, dumb little man, remember? And with the exception of this article, is just, let's get that in there, with the exception of this article, it's just more wasting away of your precious time. You cannot get these minutes back, unplug the internet, and get away from out of your office or house right now and go do something. Kind of the same philosophy with the TV. So I say you might look like that if you spend too much time on the
Say,
internet.
that's
So.
my mother.
That's your brother? Man, what luck did I get?
All day on the internet reading, I don't know, everything,
Yeah.
everything.
Travel. How many of you would love to travel? I think we would all love to do that. How many of you can afford to travel?
There's ways around that.
Sure, you want to travel someday when you have a vacation time or when you're older. Well, what are you waiting for? Find a way to take a trip, if not this month, then sometime soon. Now, this next sentence I don't necessarily agree with. You may need to sell your car or stop your cable bill. That would be a good one. Or stop eating out to do it. We found out that's a big saving, not eating out, especially for a family of 6. But make it happen. What? You are too young not to see the world. Now, here's an example. When you look at the picture, if these people look like they're in New York or Paris or something, you don't have to go there. Go someplace close. You know, like Springfield, Kansas City, do something different. Like we try to take the cultural events. You know, there's things out there that are fairly close. Last year they. What? Web City. Go to the movies, Web City. You know, the art museum that the ladies went to last year, some of you went with them, the art museum down in Arkansas. Things to do are out there. So it doesn't have to be something, you know, we all dream of going to Paris or, you know, my lifelong dream to go is to go to Normandy and go on the beaches of Normandy where we invaded on D-Day and travel the path to Berlin if I could, you know, I don't know how far that is, not that long I don't think, and see the path that our allies took after we invaded on D-Day. So will I ever do that? I pray I do one of these days, but I'm not holding my breath, waiting for it. So just again, some thoughts. Rediscover what's important. Take an hour and make a list of everything that's important to you. Add to it everything that you want to do in life. What's this normally called? A bucket list. So make a bucket list. Now cut that list down to 4 or 5 things. Just the most important things in your life. This is your core list, your bucket list. This is what matters. Focus your life on these things. Make time for them. So maybe not the bucket list exclusively, but you know, some core things that you want to do and accomplish in your lifetime. So your time is a wasting. As that sand runs through the hourglass, so does the days of your lives. Oh, sorry. Flashback to those days of our lives. So I've told the ladies in the office I was addicted to days of our lives for a long time. Can you believe that?
That is the most girliest.
It wasn't when I watched it. Maybe now, I don't want to. Eliminate everything else. What's going on in your life that's not on that short list that we just prepared. All that stuff is wasting your time, pulling your attention away from what's important. As much as possible, simplify your life by eliminating the stuff that's not on your short list, or at least minimizing it. So, again, something to think about. You know, wasting his life there.
It's probably a cubicle.
I think he's learning to 12.
This one I like, but I don't do a good job with either. But it's exercise. So get off the couch and go for a walk. Eventually try running, or do some push-ups or crunches, or swim over a bike or row, or go for a hike. Whatever you do, get active and you'll love it, and life will be more alive. If we spend as much time exercising or just walking or whatever as we do watching TV, would we not be a much more fit country and individuals? And wow, it'd be amazing. And
I've seen a lot of people lately getting TV on their phone so that they can watch while they're running. I don't know.
Well, you know, I have a treadmill in my house. Where is it facing? My treadmill is facing my TV, so I can. I'll go about 2 times a week, and I know I need to go more, and I'll get up early and go down and do that. So we might all look a little better if we did this exercising. So be positive. Pretty tough one sometimes. Learn to recognize the negative thoughts you have. These are the self-doubts, the criticisms of others, the complaints, the reasons you can't do something. And stop yourself when you have these thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts or solutions. You can do this. So how many of you spend time thinking negative? Yeah, I think we all do probably, but try to change that to a positive thought. Makes it a lot better. So be thumbs up. Open your heart. We already kind of talked about falling in love and the heart thing, but is your heart a closed bundle of scar tissue? Learn to open it. Have it ready to receive love and give love unconditionally. If you have a problem with this, talk to somebody about it, and practice makes perfect. I found the greatest little clip art for this one. Unlock your heart. So in order to, sometimes we talked about love, giving love, you have to be willing to receive it. So something to think about, open your heart. It does lead to getting hurt. I'll be the first to say that.
I'll be the second.
Yeah. This is actually my favorite. Kiss in the rain. Seize the moment and be romantic. Raining outside? Grab your lover and give her a passionate kiss. Driving home? Stop the car and pick some wildflowers. Send her a love note. Dress sexy for him. Maybe I should have taken that one out, but if you do have somebody that you're in love with, be passionate with them, I think is what it's saying. They're not kissing, but they're in the rain. So. Going for a walk in the rain. Pretty cool. So Singing in the Rain. It's one of my kids' favorite movies, musicals. They love it. Face your fears. How many of you that want to go skydiving are afraid of it? How many of you that don't want to go skydiving are afraid of it? Face your fears. How many of you are afraid of heights? Okay. I wouldn't suggest skydiving at first. Work your way up to the skydiving, you know, because it's. I only jumped from 4,000 feet.
Does bungee jumping come first?
I don't know. Getting on a ladder, maybe.
That's upside down.
Top of your roof. Yeah, that upside down, I think, is what gets me. So. What are you most afraid of? What is holding you back? Whatever it is, recognize it and face it. Do what you are most afraid of. Afraid of heights? Go to the tallest building and look down over the edge. Only by facing our fears can we be free of them. I used to be a principal at a school. We took our 8th graders to the Capitol in Jeff City every year. And I would get one of the senators or representatives to let us go out on top of the dome, outside on top of the dome of the Capitol, and all these 8th graders, you know, a lot of them were less exciting, but some of them were afraid. And, you know, I made them go up and look over the edge. It was an edge that came up to about here, so it wasn't like you could fall over it easily, but, you know, and I think it, you know, by me making them, made them get through it. I had to pull a few of them, but, so face your fears. I wrote down a little story. My wife is fearful of sharks.
You know, one of those is.
Yeah, we have a lot of those in Missouri. So we talked about going on a trip or vacation. I want to go on a cruise. But because my wife is afraid of sharks, she doesn't. And I'm like, we're going to be on the boat. I'm not going to jump down in the water with them. But she's afraid of crashing or something on the boat.
She's watched Titanic.
Yeah. No, I won't do that. When you suffer. This is kind of a depressing one a little bit. Life isn't all about fun and games. Suffering is an invariable part of life. We lose our jobs, we lose our lovers, we lose our pets, we get physically injured or sick, a loved one becomes sick, a parent dies. Learn to feel the pain intensely and really grieve. This is a part of life. Really feel the pain, and when you're done, move on and find joy. So, About this time, 21 years ago, I lost my granny, that I mentioned earlier in the story. And that was a tough time for me, because I was her oldest grandchild, and so that was important. But, you know, time heals wounds, and you move on. So just, when you suffer, suffer. Get it out, get it over with. So, again, a little bit of a depressing one there, but this is a tough one for all of us, especially if you got 4 kids in the summertime, and 3 of them are playing sports. And 2 of them played on Monday night, 1 of them played on Tuesday, 1 of them played on Thursday, 1 of them played on Friday night, and 1 of them played on Saturday morning. This summer, my whole summer was spent running back and forth to the park. So slow down. Life moves along at such a rapid pace these days. It's not healthy, and it's not conducive to living. Practice doing everything slowly. Everything from eating, to walking, to driving, to working, to reading. Maybe not the working one. Enjoy what you do. Learn to move at a snail's pace. I don't necessarily agree with that all the time. There are times when you need to be busy and get going.
If you have the time to.
If you have the time, take your time. Good point, brother. Thank you. Slow down. So, touch humanity. Now, there is part of this one I'll tell you I don't agree with at all, but I like the idea. Get out of your house and manicure neighborhoods and find those who live in worse conditions. Meet them, talk to them, understand them. I agree with all of that. Live among them, be one of them. give up your materialistic lifestyle. Yeah, I think we all could do that at times, and live a little more frugal or whatever. You know, and if you look at the picture, you know, we do have street people, and I want to help them, but I honestly don't want to live with them. So that's part. I guess I'm being serious. I'm being joking at the same time, but that part I kind of disagree with. But helping them out, yeah, and getting to know them, yeah, and seeing what we can do, really big. Volunteer. Help at a homeless. Help at homeless soup kitchens. Learn compassion and learn to help ease the suffering of others. Help the sick, those with disabilities, and those who are dying. My church is College Heights Church around the corner here, and in 2.5 weeks we do a thing called Great Day of Service. And a bunch of people in the church, 2,000 plus members, will go out and we do painting in town, we do yard work in town, we do a ton of things in town. I always do yard working because that's my best thing. So just get out and volunteer, join something like that and get out and volunteer. We're going to go work at the Ronald McDonald House, what about?
October 5th.
October 5th, so a little less than a month. So think about volunteering for that and coming and helping us out with that. So it makes you feel good. We went to this summer.
We went to Camp Optimist, which is a camp for foster children.
You know, I didn't know what to expect, and I went and did it, and I helped little boys and little girls make cookies. It was kind of fun. It was actually kind of fun. So get out and help others. Soup kitchen line. So, and we've seen a lot of this, obviously, in Joplin after the tornado. So I think it's a great idea. This one's a good idea. Play with children. Children, more than anyone else, know how to live. They experience everything in the moment fully. When they are hurt, they really cry. When they play, they really have fun. Learn from them instead of thinking you know so much more than them. Play with them and learn to be joyful like them. It's really true. And I know one of our students, Ashley, works over in the daycare over by where we were at usually. Somebody else? Oh yeah, Chu does. I forgot that, Chu. Is it fun, Chu? Playing with the children?
Usually.
Keeps you alive, keeps you young.
Well, it's a challenge.
Oh, it's a challenge. Yeah, it's a challenge. Good point. It's a challenge. But you know, I just liked walking past them sometimes when we were over in the other office and going in and seeing them playing there in the sandbox and stuff. So get down and play with them. Talk to old people. My wife has been wanting to do this, and she's done it a little bit with her grandparents. Her grandfather passed away 5 or 6 years ago, and a grandmother, actually they thought would die before he did, but she's still hanging on, and she wants to help remember the family history by visiting with them and recording it. And, how did we used to record a lot of things in history? People wrote it down, wrote letters. Do we do that very well anymore? We don't. Because we don't write letters. we write emails and we trash them when we're done. We could ever go back and find all the emails we wrote, but a lot of history was recorded through letter writing. So we need to keep recording our history, is talk to the old people. But also, and that's kind of the thing of our book that we're going to give to you, is talking to old people and learning from them. There is no one wiser, more experienced, more learned than those who have lived through life. They can tell you amazing stories, give you advice on making marriage last or staying out of debt, tell you about their regrets so they can learn from them and avoid the same mistakes. They are the wisdom of our society. They take advantage of their existence while they're still around. My other grandmother, my father's mother, when she turned 90, I think, she told me, she said, you know what I'm so proud of, to be turning 90? She said, now I can say anything and people will think it's wisdom. Might be kind of crazy, but she thought it would be wise coming from a 90-year-old. So she definitely lived life. So talk to old people. Learn new skills. How many of you have skills and are learning something new? Paul?
Yes, sir. I own a heating and air conditioning skill, but I'm trading that skill with somebody else who can frame houses.
Okay. So learn a new skill. So the picture I have is somebody learning to play the violin or something, but there's practical skills. I mean, not that playing the violin, it's not practical, but getting out and learning new things and following your passion. So constantly improve yourself instead of standing still, not because you're so imperfect now, but because it's gratifying and satisfying. You should accept yourself as you are and learn to love who you are, but still try to improve, if only because the process of improvement is life itself. So improving yourself and learning new skills is important. Practicing the violin or something. And you don't have to do this overnight. Find something that's going to take time. So, find spirituality. For some, this means finding God or Jesus or Allah or Buddha. For others, this means becoming in tune with the spirits of our ancestors or with nature. For still others, this means an inner energy. Whatever spirituality means to you, rediscover it and its power. And I love this picture. It's like he's holding the sun. Wouldn't it be cool? We could hold the sun or something like it. So.
That would probably burn your hand.
Okay, probably could kill it. Something like it. Come on, Rosie, go with me. Take many retirements. I don't know about this one either. This one was kind of a little different. And there's a sentence in here, you'll see why. Don't leave the joy of retirement until you're too old to enjoy it. Do it now while you're young. It makes working that much more worth it. Find ways to take a year off every few years. I don't know if paying the bills would do that very well. This is definitely the one. Save up, sell your home, your possessions, and travel. That's scary. Live simply, but live without having to work. How many of us can do that? So a little impractical. If you can, great. Awesome. Enjoy life, then go back to work and save up enough money to do it again in a couple of years. That ideal world wouldn't be.
And then you won't have any money to retire on.
I wouldn't be able to go back to work after having so much time off. It's really hard for me when I don't work, then I'm like, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. So, again, they're in Paris, taking that mini retirement, I guess. I'm loving every minute of it. This is actually one of my favorites, do nothing. Now, we've had all of these exercise, now we're talking about doing nothing. So he contradicts himself a little bit maybe, but again, you're looking at something that's for you. Despite the tip above that we should find excitement, there is value in doing nothing as well. Not doing nothing as in reading or taking a nap or watching TV, which we've already told us that we shouldn't do, or meditating. Doing nothing as in sitting there doing nothing. Just learning to be still in silence, to hear our inner voice, to be in tune with life. Do this daily if possible. Sunday afternoon naps, nothing better.
I concur.
Sunday afternoon naps, nothing better. I'll repeat that again. Sunday afternoon naps, nothing better. Get me re-energized for the week. Stop playing video games. How many of you play video games too much? Nobody wants to admit it. I know my boys, our computer in our house, we have 4 children, 1 computer. If my daughter's on Facebook, my 2 boys and my youngest daughter are playing some type of video game. And they have to kind of rotate it out. We only have 1. We don't have a Xbox or whatever on the TV because that's too busy watching sports and Fox News. So there's video games on the computer, but they are constantly in there doing that. And I'm the world's worst to tell them, because you know, I'd be a hypocrite if I tell them to get up and go do something outside and I'm sitting there watching TV, so. They might be fun, but they can take up way too much time. If you spend a lot of time playing online games or computer solitaire or Wii or Game Boy or whatever, consider going a week without it and then find something else to do outside. Free Cell, my favorite game. We'll go in first.
Just to add that Wii is active.
It's a good point. Get exercise doing Wii. I've done the tennis on Wii. That's pretty fun. And you all right?
Sit down,
Good point.
be that cheer up your whole.
That's the problem, you can learn the tricks bowling, I can sit on the couch.
You do a lot better.
Kids to spend
That's
that.
true.
If you want to do better.
And they just as-
So they're cheating.
Yeah, we learn tricks.
Watch sunsets daily. This would be one I'd love to do. One of the most beautiful times of day. Make it a daily ritual to find a good spot to watch the sunset. Perhaps having a light dinner while you do so. I'd say at least watch it once a week. I mean, and watch a sunrise once a week. Kind of a beautiful picture there. And it would be cool if you could be on the ocean watching the sunset. So, I never have gotten to watch the sun set on the ocean. I have watched the sun rise on the ocean a few times, but never been on the west coast. So it's kind of cool. I have too many trees around my house to watch it real well. So stop reading magazines. They're basically worthless and they waste your time and money. Cancel your subscriptions and walk past them at newsstands. If you have to read something, read a novel, or even better, read Dumb Little Man once a day and be done. Where he's come from, Dumb Little Man. For you guys who got here late, this is where this came from, a website called Dumb Little Man. So, can you read that?
Yeah, Chinese was in Japanese.
Yeah, it's Chinese and Japanese. I can't read it.
I can't read it.
Figured you might be able to. Break out from the ruts. Do you do things the same way every day? Change it up. Try something new. Take a different route to work. Start your day differently. Approach work from a new angle. Look at things from new perspectives. A preacher at one time kind of told us to do this. He said, if you're a man,